Did marching band influence you in any way?
Marching band was a major influence on my playing. I started in marching band when I was about, I started drumming when I was about 4, but I got into marching band shortly after that, about 6 or 7. In New Orleans, we start early.
Yeah.
Marching band is like a culture.
What is it called? Double second line?
Well, second line is a different aspect of marching, but yeah, that's embedded in the culture of New Orleans. It's like you go hand in hand with like school marching band, military style, and the New Orleans brass band thing, which is a little bit more jazzy swung. You know what I'm saying? So
can you explain what second line is?
The second line is several different things. One aspect of second line is the traditional funeral procession that they have in New Orleans.
Really?
There's a marching band, and then the first line is normally like the body and the family of the person, the deceased. The second line is normally like all the revelers and all the friends of the family. So that's one aspect of second line. Another one is the dance we do. We call it second lining. And then the event itself is the second line. You get it? So it's like a couple of different meanings to second line. But the primary thing was the brass band, funeral procession, and the revelers and all the partiers.
Is there anything typical to, say, the New Orleans style drumming that is very typical to New Orleans? What's the key to New Orleans drumming compared to every other drumming? Because I know that New Orleans drumming is totally different. What can you summarize?
Well, it's the syncopation of the rhythms that we play, and it's all based off of African rhythms.
Okay.
In a lot of other places, their drumming is more straight. New Orleans got this swung thing happening, and sometimes there's a certain beat that's played in between straight and swung. So it's like a real subtle thing, but like if you're from New Orleans and you're a drummer, you automatically default to that feel. You know what I'm saying?
Can you give me just like a bump?
Okay, so for instance, there's pop, pop, rap, pop, rap, pop, 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 pop. That's kind of straight. And then there's bang, bang, da dang, dang, da dang, dang, da dang, which is strung. But New Orleans drum is booka da kaku kaku kudaka tu kadaka booka. It's like it's in between the bum bum ba dum bum ba dum bum ba dum bum ba 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 ba. You know, so it's like in between all those beats. So that's why it feels like it's lopey and it's kind of slinky, and a lot of other places they just don't have that feel.
Do you feel like that you being from New Orleans really brings out the drumming, or do you feel that it's your tutoring in that? Do you feel like it's in your heart or from your...
It's a cultural thing. So I grew up inside of hearing all those New Orleans rhythms, and so for me it's second nature, and we understand the full scope of the rhythm, the straight, the swung, and in between, and you know all the different syncopations. So we have a different rhythmical palette than a lot of other places because we understand those rhythms, like those African and those Cuban habanero and tresillo rhythms, you know, from the Caribbean. So we understand all that stuff. So it gives us a leg up.
Do you remember any of your stuff that you did in high school marching band?
Absolutely. I marched in elementary, junior high, high school. I was actually in the McDonald's All-American high school marching band.
Wow.
So they picked 2 people from each state to participate in it. So I was one from Louisiana. I think it was like in 1988 or something like that.
What'd you play? Do you remember what you played?
I played snare drum, yeah.
No, but do you remember what? Was it a song or?
Well, it was a couple of different snare drum solo pieces that they had sent us, something from them, and then I think the one was Connecticut Halftime and something else. I can't remember.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, bro.
Awesome, thanks.
Get me on YouTube. Get me go viral.
I will.